And yeah, we're only a couple minutes late due to some technical difficulties, but let's get this started in the usual way.
And then here's the challenge of burnouts for distance. So, who wants to take my challenge? Here's what I started with.
And let's start that over because I didn't have the volume.
And then here's the challenge of burnouts for distance. So, who wants to take my challenge? Here's what I started with.
All right. And close that tab. Hey, it looks like it's Buddy is here and Mark is here. And what's going on, guys? Oh, a bunch of people rolling in. We got a bunch of people rolling in, dozen people, a couple people commenting. What's all going on? Robert Meyer, how you doing? Jerry Bad is here. Hi, Jerry. KJ Kylie, what's going on, everybody? Actually, I had, what's this on my phone? I had a busy week this week. We had, for the holiday, and we had everybody in. Eric Wilson, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. We had everybody in. People started showing up Tuesday, and the last of them left yesterday at about noon. So it was a full week, that with cooking and plus work and stuff, and a whole bunch of things going on. Did like 3 tunes over the last few days, so that was good. It was a 159 Magnum, 1 4-liter Jeep, and another 5.2 Magnum. So kind of the whole big email on its way. All right, I'll look for it, Jerry. I got my email up and ready to respond to your posting. So that was good. So it was a very lucrative last couple days. Back to work today and stuff like that, in the cold and the rain and stuff like that. Robert Lawrence, what's cold? Yeah, it is cold outside. Can't guarantee every time, but I'll be here when I can. Well, that's fine as long as you're here in mind, body, and or spirit. It all's good. Mexican Spec, what's going on? How you doing, brother? Thanks for being here. But overall, it was good. Both the daughters, both the granddaughters, one of my sisters, and one of my wife's sisters and her husband. Well, my sister and her husband also. So there was, with the baby, it was 11 people in the house. So it wasn't too bad. It was better than last year. Last year, there was like 17. That was ridiculous. Buddy got the snow blower started today, getting 6 to 9 inches tomorrow in Massachusetts. I remember those snowblower days. That's why I don't live up north anymore. Expensive Thanksgiving here. Well, pump burned up at the well pump burned up at 8:30 on Thanksgiving morning. And it always happens on the day you can't go and get anything. I actually had one of the toilet in our master bathroom. When you sit on it, there's that ring you sit on, so you can sit when you need to sit, and broke. It was like cracked, so it's like, so it pinch your leg every time you sat on it. But I had to, couldn't do anything for the whole day. But there we got other bathrooms, so everybody was fine. It was just for me and the wife where you weren't able to, we had to put up with that for the day, which was just the a mild inconvenience. But it was still like, really, of all the days to break, you got to break when nothing's open. So, got the Caltrex for the Ranger. Got John's supposed to be coming over this week. We'll do some springs in his Galaxy. Jerry Bad. You did not buy that. Oh my God. We got to hang on. I got to pull this up, everybody. Wow. I am super jealous. Hang on a second. I found a shortcut way to do this. Share screen. Me bump it on. Here's what Jerry Van bought. Look at that. This looks way too nice. So it's all original 4-cylinder, positive earth ground, flathead 4-cylinder Model T. No way. No way. Is this the one for it was like $9,000 or something that you bought it for? Oh, I'm dummy. Here, let everyone else see the pictures. There you go. All right, that's better. Let's flip through the pictures for the people. What are we doing? We got to go here. Yeah. I dig the color too. Wow. Super jealous. Super jealous. Email just says new to me. So tell us a little bit about this there, Jerry. Let's see if what I'm missing here in the comments. Buddy, well pump when dry. Really dig that wallpaper. Okay. Yeah, me too. Fixed the neighbor's snowblower. They got one going and blew the driveway. Nathan McCree is here. What's going on, buddy? Everyone's. It's nice. Jerry says it's nice. It's too nice, actually. Stefan Bunkybird is here. What's going on, Betty? It's a 31 Model A Sports Coupe. Nice. It's brand new under. Wow. I'm trying to trade it out to a rougher one. Why? Just keep it nice. Have a nice thing, Jerry. Have one thing. Have one thing nice. Have one nice thing. Beagle Bob, what's going on? Shannon, good start to the week. Got the heat hooked up in the garage. You're going to start working on the project cars. We'll send some pictures of the progress. All right, cool. Shannon, nice of you to be here, sir. Thank you. Robert Meyer, my sister's furnace quit working on Thanksgiving Day. Last I heard, she was waiting for the repairman to come. Haven't heard from her since because she's frozen. Because he wants patina. Why do you want patina? That car's nice. Have a nice thing. You know, finish it up and finish the firewall and just put it around. You don't need any ratty rat rod. You got all that stuff already. Keep it nice. Too nice to mod. Yeah, it looks too nice to mod. Yeah, sweet ride at 35 miles an hour. That's right. But you get into all these model, you know, these, what did you say is a model A, T, Model A? Get into Model A clubs up there. All of them, and you could be one of the old guys driving around, being in parades, hey, you know, waving to people, having a little hat, waving to people. Ah, sorry about the cough. It's trying to get rid of this thing for like 3 weeks now. But I went to the doctor today. He said, you're fine. You'll just got a cough. That's all there. Mexican spec. How are you? Find me a crappy one to trade me, but bring cash too. No. 1931 Model A Sports Coupe. Keep that thing for Well, it's going to be 26. So you only got to keep it 5 more years, and it's 100 years old. Keep that car and yourself going for five more years, and it'll be a 100-year-old car. Be nice. Be nice to have that. Josh Holman, he said, "Good to be here." Well, we're glad to have you, sir. Thanks for showing up. Wow, I'm jealous of that, sir. That is a really nice car. I just finish the firewall and drive it, a little bit of the interior stuff and just drive it. Keep it nice. So what loses its spot? What has just lost its spot in the garage? The truck that was in there or the Comet? Yeah, I don't think I'd let that Model A go for nothing. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to find another one. Well, yeah, you will. But assuming you got a smoking deal on it, so it'd probably be hard to get another one that's got a smoking deal. Eric Wilson, got my swap mounts for my L94 6.2 in my Grand Wagoneer today. Nice. That'll be a nice outfit, a 6.2 and a Grand Wagoneer. It'd make it fun. Eric, we were talking about Jerry. Bought a 31 Model A Sports Coupe. Nice car. I know we should keep that. So, very excited for you, sir. That's something that's really nice. I don't have anything that nice right now. So, old guy had it for 8 to 9 years, consistently building on it. He got cancer and gave it to his grandson. I bought it from him. Has a title. It's legit. Nice. Yeah, those, but man, you gotta read up on them. I got a hard education on one of those a few years ago because I didn't know any better. But you have to lube the distributor, lube the water pump, and this and all kinds of weird stuff every time you drive it. It's very chaotic, but yeah, just keep that thing, keep it nice. Shan says, just think what would be considered a 100-year-old car from now that would actually still run and drive. I don't think the ECM would last that long. No, I don't think there will be any of these cars that are on the road produced in the last 20 years around in 100 years. Mm-mm. Jerry says 100% rust free. Yeah, just keep that thing, get a heater and dehumidifier for your garage and, and tarps to put down to drive it on and a little cone of silence to keep everything from getting on it and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's neat. No. Okay. Well, it's yours now. You can do with it what you wish. So anyway, what the heck else were we talking about, guys? It's a bunch. There's like 30 people in here. Yeah, so we had a bunch of people. I was supposed to have a video converted from VHS to digital, so I could post that today, but the guy didn't finish it. So hopefully he finishes it for tomorrow, then I can get that one up. And Olive's here. Paul Bruno's here. Hey, Paul. We're just talking about you. We're gonna have to figure out in between the inclement weather and stuff like that a day to get that Galaxy over here and do the springs on it. Olive is here. Hi, Olive. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate it. Robert Lawrence. Robert's working on a 22R, has a blown head gasket and a lot bolted to it. Yeah, they have a lot. Because you got to take off, you got to disconnect the exhaust and thing, and it's an R, not an RE, so it's carbureted. And you got to take down the front cover so you can release the chain, so you can get the head off, and all the, all the ignition, all the thing, all the stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to them. But good news, I mean, once you clean it all back up and do the head gasket, it's good for another 150,000 miles. So, okay. So yeah, done many of those. The 22Rs and the 22REs. So, and they all sound the same no matter what you do to them. New chains, new adjust the valves and stuff like that. They all sound the same. It's pretty funny, but they run forever and they're great. So, where's it going? Went to the because I've had like this head cold, throat, coughing at night. Nothing bad, but just persistent for like 3 weeks. And I went and seen the doctor today, and she told me I'm fine. It's just a seasonal thing and allergies, and gave me this and that and the other thing for it. So hopefully this goes away. I'm kind of getting tired of being just that much sick every day. It's quite the drag, but enough of that. So yeah, hopefully we get we'll get Paul's car over here this week. We'll get the 12 valve Cummins video posted hopefully tomorrow. I'll do the Caltrax on the Ranger this weekend, and yeah, that should be good for the next week or so. Shannon parts come in for the Nitro project yet? No. No, and I actually I got to call Mr. Jeff tomorrow. Mr. Jeffrey found the brake pad inserts that we need for his Earhart brakes, and get those so I can get over there and get all that done and plumbed in, and get those brakes bled and get that part of it done because the rear end's back together. And once the brakes are done, that will be kind of that part of the car done. So when the clutch does come in, because we're waiting on the clutch, Shannon, to come from Crower, probably be mid-December. And then once we get the clutch in, because the clutch comes with the flywheel, and the pilot bearing is into the flywheel itself. It doesn't sit in the crank like a normal one. Gets that bolted up. I can put the can on, put on the can, and measure from the distance from the pilot bearing to the front to the back face of the can where the transmission bolts up, and get the inside diameter of that bearing, and then call Lenco and get that input shaft coming. Get that all done. Get the flywheel in, assemble all the clutch and stuff like that. Do a real primary adjustment on it. Put the can on. And then hopefully the input shaft should only take a few days of shipping that they're telling us. Crash Road Runner Garage, what's going on, buddy? Good morning. Good morning to you too, sir. And then we'll have the back end of the thing besides the coupler. We got to find the coupler that they're using for that. And then like my part of it will be done. And we're just waiting for the heads to come back so we can do the primary reassembly on the engine. Once the heads are back and all done and fire ringed and all that kind of stuff. So just waiting, for parts. Good thing it's, there's no racing going on. So, that's good. Yeah, we're making progress. It's just a hurry up and wait type thing. excuse me, for that car and all that kind of fun stuff. So, yeah. What's everybody else got? I mean, Jerry got us kicked off with some pretty cool pictures of his Model A. What's everybody else working on? Oh, now it's good evening. Okay. Eric Wilson. I got given a 50cc four-wheeler the other day. It needs a little work. Those are one of them little ones. Yeah, they're big enough to ride. That's cool. I want somebody to give me something like that. That'd be cool. But yeah, like I said, get the Caltrex on the Ranger and stuff like that. Get that dialed in so it doesn't pull hard left when the boost kicks in. That'd be nice to go straight when it's going to go well over 100 miles an hour. Indica Doggo, what's going on, buddy? Haven't seen you in a little bit. Went in cam kit for the wife's charger. Oh, okay. Oh, those are a lot of fun. Taking the whole car apart to change the cam. Yay! Mopar Madness. What engine is in the Ranger? The Ranger is a 5.3 LS with a single turbo. Basically, sloppy mechanics build. Stage 2 Elgin cam, pack springs, new gaskets, decapped and float injectors. So they're good for 80 pounds. A fuel, single 300-liter pump in the back, 7875 turbo 400 trans, and a 373 rear. So all budget stuff. Everything was budget besides the trans. The trans I had built by a guy locally who does them real well. It's a fully rollerized turbo 400, all built and everything with the converters, $2,000, $2,100, something like that. That's the most expensive part on the whole truck, including the truck. So Jerry says, "Is Ranger sounds wicked?" Yeah, it's got a good chop to it. So that's all good. It's all good to me. Other than that, I haven't gotten any more projects. I've looked and put a bid on a couple things, but haven't been able to pull a pin on one. I tried to pull a pin on one. Like we talked about this. We talked about that El Camino, that 71 El Camino, but just didn't happen. But now that Jerry got himself such a nice car, I have to rethink everything, and I have to buy something nice. I usually just buy junk, but something nice would be good. Let me take a look here real quick if we can pull it up. If it'll let me pull it up. Oh yeah. So I'd have to get something like this, and I'll click this, and then I'll get this. I'll pull this up here for a second. Because now the bar has been set higher, so now I have to step up. Bang! There we go. I would like one of these also, in red or blue or black. So I just got to keep up with Jerry with the cool stuff. So, Robert Lawrence, what's the horsepower on the Ranger? Last time we had it out, we were on 9 pounds of boost. We made probably 550 crank. But since then we've changed it. We've gone from 9 to about 14 pounds of boost. And we went from 50 to 75 shot on the dry shot on the nitrous to get out of the hole. So we're crank pushing 7 ish, you know. So yeah, that's why I had to do some rear suspension work, because it's all just worn out, and it's got some old redneck style lift bars in the back, and they were kind of getting twisted and bent up, and the bushings and the springs are all shot, so it would just go. You get it into the boost real hard, and the rear end would just thing, and the whole car would just go left. So the Caltrax will fix all that. Didn't expect his analyst, but very nice. My brother-in-law's 5.0 swapping his 88. He's having a rough time with the T5 trans fitting. Yeah. If he's using the Mustang T5, he's going to have to. The shifter's pretty far back on that tail, so you kind of really can't run a bench seat. You really have to either make your own kind of funky shifter handle, which always makes it odd, or just run a set of buckets out of like a Fox body or something like that. But yeah, I know exactly what he's doing. I've small block Ford swapped a lot of Ford Rangers, so I understand his pain with getting that T5 to fit. And then because in the back of the tunnel, because the transmission tapers down, so the tunnel tapers down, but then you have that big podium that the shifter sits on, and you kind of have to make a big cut in the floor so that whole kind of podium can stick up, and then kind of rebuild a sheet metal or whatever you're going to do, device, barrier, castle around it, whatever you want to call it, so you can put the shifter boot on and keep all the air out and stuff like that. But yeah, he's if he's got, because you got my, well, if he's having, he can always email me too if he's got problems. So I've done a bunch of them, so I got a large source of information. Glad to help him out. Robert Meyer, my Chevy truck with 300 horsepower small block Chevy 350 crate motor is starting to run rough. Time for plugs and wires. AC Delco parts of 20 years ago. Is AC Delco still good stuff? I don't know. Depends if they make it at like the Delco plant in like, I think it's in like Milwaukee or something where the originally were, yeah. But if they're China made, I wouldn't. It's hard to get anything good anymore. I really don't, Robert, I really don't know. I run the only thing I really found good with, not a big fan of the company, but the MSD wires, to make your own, never had a problem with any of them. High quality. So just my 2 cents. Jerry, go get the Model 8. That's shitty. Bring it with a fistful of hundreds. No, you can't sell it. Paul Burnham, did you go to the junkyard that's closing anything interesting 60s cars? No, I did not go there because I couldn't swing it. Tony went there and he said it was nothing special, apparently. So just a late model junkyard. So he looked around a little bit, but then it was just like any place else. So that wasn't really video worthy. Josh Hovitt, good evening to one and all. Well, good evening to you. How about swapping the tail from an S10 for the 5-speed? You can, and it's been done, but it puts the shifter so far up, it's kind of under the dash on a Ranger. So there's no real like Cinderella region for any of those. Ray, good evening, Doctor. Thanks for the help on the S10 536.0. Good. Glad I could help you out. Do you prefer the factory EVMs over booster? I do prefer the factory ECU, and let me tell you why. For one, cost. Okay. And I got a whole drawer full of them. You can go and get one of these 411 ECUs out of any junkyard, and they're $35, right? If you have the donor motor that came with this, and it came with the harness, and you can depin the harness, it's free, right? A Holley Terminator, that's 1,500 plus the harness, plus. Right. If you're just some Joe Schmo like me who just wants to go and spin tires and drag race once in a while and doesn't need 50 inputs for shock sensors and this, excuse me, all these ancillary inputs and outputs and stuff like that. Oh, absolutely. Use the stock one. The stock one will run that thing. No problems. You can set it up for boost, build your timing curve. It's very easy to program. You tell it what you want it to do, and it'll do it. Holley's, from what I've seen, I haven't done any myself, but they're very, fairly easy to program. But then you just have the cost. So, yes, I prefer the factory ECUs over the aftermarket ones. And if your aftermarket ECU takes a dump, you can send it back and pray, or go get another $35 one from the junkyard, switch the program over to the new ECU for $100, and you're done. So, my 2 cents. Robert, thanks for your help. Okay. I don't know if my answer helped you at all, but okay. Mexico, good to see you. Here, they're everywhere. Okay. Not everybody try. Mopar Bandit says, yeah, MSD wires are very good. I love them. Yeah. Not a huge fan of the company. They make some stuff that's good. Some stuff is just by name, really, and doesn't really do much, which good for them. But the wires are good. So I'll give them that. Ed Racer, 843 in the 8th fighting a random misfire now. Huh. Expand on that. Is it misfire as you're going down the track, as you're launching, as you're top of the gear, kind of? We lost you. Was I gone? Did I have a bad internet connection? Was something going on that I didn't know about? Sorry about that. Eric Wilson says, thank you. Satellite should be in my garage. It's okay now. Oh, okay. Jerry, another email sent. Hadn't come in yet, but I'll keep an eye out for it. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my internet. I had all kinds of problems Wednesday night with it too. I don't know if it's because my thing, like the modem's like right there. I suppose I could run an Ethernet cable right to this computer, but that would be, I don't know, kind of silly, I think. Let's see what Jerry's new email. More pictures of his 31. Let me get these up so everyone can see them. Let me kill that screen. Go up here, share screen. Da, 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 da. It's only a cold sore. Okay. This is the bottom of Jerry's 31. And I have to go to this thing to here to switch views. I mean, yeah, that looks like, this guy took everything apart and re-sprayed everything and cleaned everything. Really, really nice. Really clean. For 100 years old, basically. That looks a little funky, but that might be just the way it is. I'm not the expert on these. Yeah, all these crazy grease fittings and latches and arms and what the heck does that go to? Something for the brakes or something. Huh. Cool. Newer style shocks. Oh, you got it. Oh, this is when it was up on your U-Haul trailer. I see. Very nice. I like it. I like it. Okay, let's go back to the show here. Bum, ba-dum, da-dum, 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 da-dum. Okay. Shannon, a friend of mine put a 5.3 in his 1972 Chevy pickup. He said something like, had to buy rights to the ECM to program it if it's common and worth it. What? Okay. Buy rights to the ECM to program it, depending what version. Is this common and worth it or not? Really familiar with such things used to mechanical tuning. It's relatively simple. If he's got, I'm gonna go back to this, Shannon. If he's got this style ECU, looks like something like this. You could definitely program it to run in a standalone in a Chevy pickup truck, and definitely you can depin it easy enough. And that's just following a chart. You go to ls1swap.com. They have the whole pinouts and where everything goes and stuff like that. And everything you're not using, you just depin from the harness, cut off, and then you run 2 grounds of power and an ignition, and the thing will light off and run, providing you got everything else hooked up right. It's pretty simple deal. And I can help with that if he wants to keep his fuel injection, which I would if he's just doing a swap. If he wants to put a carb on it, hey, you could do that too. A lot of guys do it. Ray did it. But have him get a hold of me. I'll help him out. That's the email. It comes on during the show. Easy. And if he wants me, he could ship me his ECU and I can tell me what he's going to do with it. I could do all the programming, unlock it on my end, do all the programming, get it back to him for pretty reasonable. So, yeah, just have him give me a buzz if you need the help. Was fine with race, but shortly after it would miss under light load cruising. Didn't notice it much as wide open throttle. Sounds like a burn plug wire. I'd check all those first. It's got a rumble seat, perfect for the grandchild. Paul said it's really nice. Big white walls too. Beautiful. Well, I'm behind on chat here. Pat. Interesting car. Rumble seat. Was for the mother-in-law. Yeah, you could put her upside down. The radiator drain is in the hose. That's kind of cool. Monoleaf. That's the Corvette technology there. Yeah. Paul Bruno had a 17 Model T and a 31 Model A. So there you go. Jerry, we got questions, call Paul. He may be able to help you out. Robert says, or in my case, perfect seat was the rumble seat is perfect for my mother. Get back there and be quiet, you old lady. But very cool, Jerry. Yeah. Um, buddy, do you do Ford tuning Coyote in a Mustang? I have looked at the later model Coyote ECUs, brought it up, in like the HP tuners and stuff like that. It would be a learning curve for me. That's why I kind of stick to the couple things that I do. If you do need a guy, I got a guy. I got a guy who knows those inside and out. And he's the guy I go to when I have questions. So if you look at, you can go to Facebook and go Tuned by Jimmy. He's out of Michigan. He can help you out. Or if you get a hold of me, email me and I'll get you in hold with him. But no, I haven't done any, and I don't have any bench harnesses or anything for any of those Fords. So I'd actually have to have the car in front of me to do it. So that might not be that convenient. But new plugs, wires didn't help. Swap different coils didn't help either. Might try the cam crank learn again, but it got too cold. Oh, okay. Yeah, that can happen too if you got like a loose ground or something like that. So yeah, that just takes some. We're gonna dive into that, do a little bit of diag to figure out where your misfire is coming from. What Parmenas? If I pulled a 305 out of a 93 Chevy pickup and put in a 350 in, should I put a 350 computer in it, or will it? What 93? Because those are OBD1. I don't know. I would assume you need the 350 computer. I just assume that because they were very specific back then. So if you run the 305 computer on the 350, it may run like a 305. It's what you're trying to get away from. So I would assume you would need the 350 computer in it, being in OBD1, to make it actually just run. Oh, it's driving me crazy. New plugs wires didn't help, so I might try to crank learn again. Okay. Proponent of the car battery is negative attached to the frame. I thought, unless, because they originally were, well, you're right, Jerry. They originally were positive earth or positive ground. The previous owner may have switched it. Do you have, I believe I've seen a starter on it, and the starter should have a cable going right to the battery on those, if I'm remembering this right. And again, this is very foggy at best, but it could be wrong. And is that same, the one going to the starter positive? Because this is how I got my education on these. Because I seen the same thing. Because the guy, he had it years ago. He had car very similar to yours. I think it was yellow. And I'm looking at the thing because it's just in his garage. His battery's dead and he hasn't driven it in a while. I'm like, why is the positive grounded And he said, "Oh no, it's a positive earth." And he explained that the negative cables go right to the starter, and it's just backwards. But you can convert them from what he told me. Don't take my word. I'm just blathering as usual. And you can convert it to where it's negative grounded. It won't like smoke the lights and things like that. Because there's really not a whole lot that runs besides the ignition and the starter on those and the headlights. Doesn't have a lot of accessory. So I don't know how you would test that to tell. I guess put a small charger on it the way it is, turn the headlights on and see what happens. But again, you don't want to burn anything up. But if he went through it the way he did, he may have converted it to a negative. I think a computer for 305 would run the 350, but it would not. Yeah, it wouldn't. It would still think it's a small motor. So I agree with you, Shannon. Seems like it'd probably run lean. Okay, I missed the context of that. Yeah, it seems like the positive to the battery makes sense in a later model conventional car. Yeah, those were built backwards from conventional, but again, he may have converted everything over to the traditional way. There's no way to ask him anymore, I guess. Granddad's Junk, what's going on the other side of the world there, sir? Thank you for showing up. Appreciate it. Paul Bruno, I would run aground to the engine block and to the frame. Yeah. For the 305 computer on a 350. Oh, okay. Oh, there's a book of notes. Well, there you go. Consult the big book of notes left by old guy who did all this work. And hopefully he explained or noted somewhere that he converted it. And again, I don't know if converting them is just flipping the wires around. No idea. It's not too difficult to change the polarity. Heaps of English cars were positive earth. Yeah. It's just weird. You hate to burn anything up. Shannon, 6-volt positive ground was the idea to prevent corrosion at the battery terminals, as I understand it. But just changed which cable would corrode. Oh, okay. Maybe the grandson took the headlights. Maybe, but the grandson took the headlights off. So I'm wondering if he smoked them. It's possible. Yeah, he may have cooked them. I don't know. That's one of the mysteries of buying somebody else's stuff. Consult the old guy that's no longer here, his notes, and see what would happen. Yeah, I cooked them. Took the headlights off. Did you get the headlights with it? Because it looks like you did. Cooked. Yeah. Cooked them. So, what's going to happen this week? Again, we got some weather coming in down here. And remember, we're in the south. So if we get there's a threat of ice, I think they already canceled all the schools and stuff for tomorrow, or a misting of snow, the whole town shuts down. Fun with Cars is here, so it's a party now. Jerry said, "Yeah, I think I have everything." So we'll see what tomorrow brings. But other than that, like I said, got some videos planned, got some tuning people out on the way with stuff, and should be a good week. Maybe it'll come down to converting it to negative ground for sure. I think you mostly just need a starter and an alternator. Makes sense. That does make sense, Olive. Check what generator. It doesn't have. It's got a generator, but we get what you're saying, Olive. Yeah, and see how the generator is wired. If the generator is wired, positive earth, then you got problems, or you just need to switch the cables on the battery and fire the thing up. Or if, like I said, yeah, I can send you some snow. Yeah, Mr. Buffalo. Yeah, I'm sure you got plenty to send. The 30 Plymouth was positive earth and 6 volts. I've changed polarity and 12 volts. It didn't run the 12 volt through the regular, so the instrument was still. Okay, let me see if I can read. The 30 U Plymouth was positive earth and 6 volts. I've changed the polarity and 12 volts. I don't run the 12 volt through the regulator, so the instrument still only draws 6 volts through the regulator. Oh, okay. Can't you change the polarity of the starter? I think it's juice in and ground out, and I think it'll work either way. It may spin backwards, which would be interesting. I don't know. Usually people convert to alternator at the same time. Cosmini as well. Yeah, Olive, you didn't see this thing. It's like a brand new 31 Ford. So looks like a single wire generator, question mark. I didn't look at what it was connected to. Okay. Fun in cars. I changed the generator to a 6 volt positive ground and 10 SI GM alternator. The gauges on the old 6 volt system are the most sensitive part because they only need 5.5 volts to operate. Yeah, so if you're cranking them with 12, they could make things bad. The starter goes the same way. It's a solenoid. You can change polarity. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe finding old service manuals will identify how it's supposed to be. Yeah, originally they were all positive earth grounds. 10 SI alternator was GM alternator. They ran from the 70s into the 80s. Oh, okay. Didn't know that's what they called them. So anyhow, that was this week in history around here. Like I said, we got some good stuff coming up for this week. Again, Wednesday night with Tony, and pop up a couple of videos and get Paul's car over here once it's the weather calms down a little bit and it gets maybe a little warmer end of the week. Have an original manual and additional books as well. Oh, okay. They should be good. So that's going to be it for me tonight, boys and girls. We're going to chop her off 3 or 4 minutes early here, and call it a success because it was a good Monday show. Appreciate all of you being here, quite a bit actually. So 6 volt on 12 volts will spin fast for a while. Yeah, exactly. So again, thanks a lot. Thanks for being here, and we will see you in a week. See you.